Hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. So I'm going to be teaching you how to make this beautiful, stylish and fun that I'm holding on the screen right now. So the one I'm holding on the screen right now is the outcome of this tutorial, and we're going to be making use of materials and fabrics that are easily accessible, that you can easily get in the market without spending too much. So you might want to stay to the end of this video to get the full gist, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not done so, and give this video a thumbs up. So let's get right into it, guys. So these are the materials we're going to be making use of. So here I have this sequin fabric. In the local market, most people call it sequins. So I also have this net, this two plain net. Also, I'm making use of this very tiny boning. If you can't get this, you can also make use of your fascinator wire as well. So I'm also making use of the paper tape, bias, and this flower, which is very common in the market. And I'm going to make use of this gum. You can use any fabric gum of your choice. So the next thing I want to do now is to cut out my boning. So I'm marking out 20 inches. I'm making use of 20 inches, and I'm going to cut out 4 pieces of this 20 inches. So this is the first one. I'm just going to use this first one to cut out the remaining 3. I'm just making sure it is equal, and then I'm going to cut it out. So I'm going to cut out 2 more of this to make it 4. So now next thing I want to do is pick one of the boning and place the ends together like this. Can you see? And then I'm going to make use of my paper tape like this. Can you see it? I'm just going to use paper tape to hold the end together like this. Just make sure it is properly placed so it doesn't remove. So the next thing I did is to place a little piece of paper tape on the bias tip, and then I used it to secure the beginning of the bias like this. So I just want to go ahead and roll or twist the bias on the bone in this way. Just keep twisting until we cover everything. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use this bias to cover the whole circle of the boning. So we'll keep doing it this way. So just make sure you're taking it easy, and as you can see, the way I'm putting the whole thing inside the cycle as I'm rolling. So this is to avoid your bias from tangling. We don't want the bias to tangle, so that's why I'm doing it this way. Just take your time and roll it. Can you see that I'm almost done rolling it? I'm getting to the end already. So like I said, take your time when covering the boning so you don't make a mistake. So this is it. I've gotten to the end. I don't want to cover up the tape side because I don't want that place to be too bulky. So I'm just making use of my needle and thread to secure the end of the bias. Can you see? If I use the tape again, it might be too bulky. So that's why I'm using my needle and thread. And I didn't cover the tape at the beginning because I don't want that place to be too bulky. So just use your needle and thread to secure that place perfectly. Can you see the way I'm doing it? So after tying it properly, I'm just going to cut it. So this is what it looks like after using the bias to cover up the whole circle. So we're going to do the same thing for the remaining boning. So this is it. I've gone ahead to do the same thing I did for the first boning on all the 4 bonings. So the next thing I want to do now is to cover up the bonings with the net. So this is it. I'm placing the boning inside the net like this. Can you see? Just make sure all the gathers is towards the tape side. Can you see the way I'm gathering it towards that end, towards the tape side? So you just make sure the gathers is facing that down part, and then we just twist it this way. Can you see the way I'm twisting it? So after twisting it, I'm just going to make use of my thread to tie that place. I'm just going to use it to secure it. So I'm going to twist the thread around it multiple times. Make sure it is tight so it doesn't loosen. So after twisting it around it multiple times, then I can now use my needle to stitch that part. Can you see the way I'm stitching it? So all this is just to make sure everything is in place and it doesn't move and it doesn't remove in the nearest future. So this is how I'm going to do it. So after stitching it, I cut my thread like this, and then I'm going to tie it properly. Some people tie before cutting the thread. Anyhow you do your hand stitching, you can go ahead, but this is how I do my hand stitching. So I'm just going to tie it very well, and then I'm going to cut away the excess net this way. Be careful not to cut the part where it's stitched so everything doesn't loosen. So this is what it looks like. We're going to repeat the same thing for the remaining three boning, the remaining three wrapped boning, just like we did for the first one. Can you see? I'm just basically repeating the same thing for the remaining one. Can you see the way I'm gathering it properly towards the tape side? So that's how I'm going to do everything. So I'm just going to do the same thing for the remaining. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna have to wrap the rest, as you can see. The next now to do now is to secure everything together. I'm going to use my needle and thread to stitch the mid part like this together. So I'm stitching the first two. Make sure you're stitching on the net, and make sure your stitches are neat and not very visible or very wide. Can you see the way I'm stitching it? So be careful not to tear your net. So this is what it looks like, and then I'm just going to cut it and then tie it at the back. So this is the first one. So this is me placing the third one as well. I'm also going to stitch it like this, just like we did for the first and second one. Just make sure your stitches are neat and not so visible. So for the first one as well, I'm going to place it this way. Can you see the way I placed it? I didn't place everything entirely on a straight line. I made sure there's a little bit of curve, and the way I stitched it, it's still movable. So make sure it can still be moved. You can still bend it to any shape you want. So can you see the way I stitched the fourth one? So I'm just going to tie it properly. So this is what it looks like after securing everything together. So I'm going to make use of a carton to make the base of where we'll be holding the fan. So I'm just marking the midpoint of this carton, and I'm going to mark 4.25 all around. I'm marking 4.25 around to form a semicircle. This measurement depends on how wide you want that part to be, the part where you're going to hold on your hand fan. It depends on how wide or how long you want it to be. So I'm just making use of 4.25. I'm marking it all around. So this is it. I'm just going to use my pen to make the lines visible. Can you see this is a cycle? So I'm just going to cut it out now. And the next thing we want to do is to divide this cycle into two to form a semicircle, and then I'm going to cut it into two as well. So now we have two half circles. So can you see this is where we're going to place it? So the next thing we want to do is to cut out our sequin like this. So we're going to place the half circle on your fabric like this. So we're going to just add about 0.75 inch around it like this. So I'm just going to cut it out this way. So I'm going to place this on the fabric and cut out the second one for the second half circle. Remember, we cut out two half circle. So this is it. I'm going to place my carton on it this way. So now this is where the gum comes in. So the opening of my gum is too tiny and it's wasting a lot of time. That's why I'm doing it this way. Please do not mess up your hands like I did mine. You can just do it the normal way using the opening of your gum. So can you see the way I did the gum? Can you see where I placed the gum? Just around the tip of the carton. So I'm just notching this part that is rounded this way so it can be easy to lay it on the carton. So after notching, I'm just going to go ahead and lay it on the carton this way. Can you see it's easy because I've applied the gum already. So that part that is not really staying, the fabric side, I'm adding more glue. Can you see? So I'm just adding more glue so that that part can stay. So this is it. Can you see? So I'm just going to place it this way. Can you see? This is how we're going to place it. Can you see? It is coming up already. It is forming our hand fan. So I'm just going to put glue on the bonings and on the tip or on the fabric of the half circle. Can you see? I'm putting the gum around the fabric, or let me say around the tip of the half circle, and then I put the gum on the bonings. Please don't let the gum stain your net. I just put it on the bonings. Please take note. And then I'm just going to place it this way. Can you see? This is how I'm going to place it. So can you see it? So we're done with the first part. Now we want to cover the other hand. So this is the second half circle. I'm going to cover it with the sequin just like we did for the first one, and then I'm going to use it to cover the other opening like this. Can you see? I'm going to apply the glue just like I applied for the other side on the tip of the half circle and also on the bonings, and then I'm going to place it this way. Can you see that our hand fan is coming to life already? It is getting ready. Can you see that it is well secured? So the next thing we want to do now is to add our flowers. Can you see? You can decide to add it straight up this way, or you can decide to pieces it and add it one by one, but in this case I'm just going to add it straight up this way, and I'll be making use of my needle and thread to secure it. We're not using gum this time, so make sure you stitch it neatly. Can you see the way I'm stitching it? I started from the back so that all the tie-ins and thread will be showing at the back and not at the front. So can you see the way I'm stitching it? If you're not getting the explanation, just pay close attention to what I'm doing and do it exactly how I'm doing, and you're going to get a perfect result. Can you see it? So we're going to continue stitching till we stitch the whole flower to the other side. So it seems this flower is not going to reach the end, so I'm just cutting the last one this way, and I cut another one to join it this way so it can reach the end this way. So I'm just going to place it like this and stitch it. So after stitching till the end, I'm going to tie it at the back. We're going to make sure it is properly tied so it doesn't lose. Can you see the back area? We're not even seeing the needle and thread. I make sure I stitched it neatly. You can hardly see the sewings and everything, so make sure you stitch yours neatly as well. Can you see? So some people can even go ahead and use needle and thread to secure everywhere we used gum for, but it depends. If you want to use your needle and thread to secure those half circle round, you can still go ahead and do that, but I'm just going to stop here. So we have come to the end of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also give this video a thumbs up. See you all in my next one. Bye.